Hi everyone, I'm Megan Urich, the APTA Minnesota Chapter President. As APTA Minnesota rolls into March, we are looking back at a couple really successful February events and now really focusing on our biggest events coming up in April, the Minnesota in Motion weekend. Thank you to the over 200 PTs, PTAs, and students who came to PT Day on the Hill at the Capitol in St. Paul in February. We especially lobbied for increasing Medicaid reimbursement, and I'm excited to report that we have some bills coming out of this. So we've got the Senate File 1402 and House File 1005 to address Medicaid reimbursement. So stay tuned for updates on these. And thank you also to the over 150 people that came to the Loons in Houston event at CSM. This was really fun to reconnect with a lot of you in person and also meet some new people. In addition to some of these social events and all of the educational programming that happens at CSM, we also have leadership meetings where all of the chapter presidents from across the country get together. These are the chapter presidents that all work for, or Liberty Square Group, our association management company, works for all of these state chapters as well. And wanted to give some other updates and takeaways from my leadership meetings. I'm going to fly through these pretty quickly, but there's some QR codes to dive deeper as well. So first off, Kyle Cummington is the new APTA National President. For the strategic planning of National, some of the big focuses are on payment, direct access, and collaborating with other healthcare professions, which also align with what we're doing in Minnesota. We've had some big Medicare wins in 2024 with the Plan of Care certification and PTA general supervision. And then we have a couple things coming up at the end of March that we're looking at trying to extend: telehealth, prior auth, and then also looking at the physician fee schedule. The bill to, there's a couple things, kind of one trying to decrease the Medicare cuts, but then also trying to get inflationary adjustments long term. So there's a really big push to reach out to your legislators about these things. This QR code will get you to the right spot to do that. And then if you want to get a feel for the big picture plan that APTA National has public policy wise over the next couple of years, you can go to this QR code. And then just wanted to remind everyone that the State Payer Advocacy Resource Consortium exists. It's known as SPARC, and all members have access to this payment resource. And then if you want to stay in the loop on legislative and payment issues, there's a quarterly webinar that happens for members. It's free. Wanted to let everyone know about the APTA Future of Rehab Therapy Summit coming up in July. This is the 9th and 10th. And then right after that, we have Leadership Congress and House of Delegates. And then right after that, we have the APTA Capitol Hill Day. So big things happening in DC in July. Focusing in Minnesota, we have big things happening on April 11th and 12th. So the two committees I'm featuring this month are Education and Payment, because they have events on this April 11th and 12th weekend. So first off, on April 11th, you've got two options. You can attend the Payment Summit, Partnering in Policy and Payment, where you'll hear from several payers, get Minnesota legislative updates impacting payment and PT, and then also get a presentation from Alice Bell, the Senior Specialist in Health Policy and Payment from APTA National. Topics will include technology-enabled care, remote therapeutic monitoring, and payment advocacy. And then the other option on that Friday is the full track full day track, where you can go to a talk by Chris Larson, a local surgeon, and Jeremy O'Keefe, a local PT, and they're going to talk about hip arthroscopy, a multidisciplinary approach for comprehensive care. So this is kind of a fun thing that we're trying again, having a full track option on the day before our more traditional APTA Minnesota conference, which is happening on Saturday the 12th. And this will have several educational tracks and excellent networking opportunities. And most exciting this year is we have Stefania Bell, the ESPN award-winning journalist, who's going to be our keynote speaker. And then just so you know who's leading the behind the scenes of these events, we've got Meg Dowdle and Peter Ames, who are the co-chairs of the Education Committee. And then we've got Lori Frayling and Julie Somsky, who are the co-chairs of the Payment Committee. Education Committee's big event is this APTA Minnesota conference, so they're working really hard on making that a successful event. And then a couple highlights from the Payment Committee this past year is they were able to meet with Blue Cross Blue Shield Minnesota, UCare, and DHS to discuss physical therapy payment issues. They also partnered with APTA National in raising awareness for the administrative burden related to the new UHC prior auth requirement. And then they partnered with the State Government Affairs Committee to support the bill that was proposed by DHS to increase Medicaid reimbursement, which we talked about above. So those are all the updates for March, and I look forward to seeing you in April.